Alright, hi guys, it's Jason here, and this is a test stream on, I guess, what I want to do with videos. This will initially go up on YouTube. Comments disabled, so avoid all the trolls and all that crap. So yeah, obviously work in progress. So feel free to let me know anything I need to change. Anything else you want me to add, all those kind of things. But just so you know, I can't change the internet. It is Australia after all, and the internet is shite. So if you're gonna say that I'm gonna be doing Twitch streaming, that's not gonna happen until I get the NBN, which will be in 2018 or well, whenever they feel like it. So at this stage, I'm just going to do a test stream using a game that I've been playing for 3 years now, but I've only sort of recently picked up again. It's Euro Truck Simulator. So let's begin this video, shall we? Oh, damn it, I just saw a freaking possum outside. Oh, this pissed me off for some stupid reason. Anyway, back to this thing. Okay. So, we'll take a quick job. Before I forget, I am using a mod, well, a few mods actually. Using TSM, just because I like the fact that they expand the map to areas that Pro mods haven't done so, like Africa, for example, Spain. And I've got a few other mods with regards to traffic, buses, and the no collision, because I drive like a ticket. And it's coming from a bloke that doesn't even have a driver's license. So don't start throwing crap at me for using the no collision mod, because well, I can use it, so so let's test this now. So we picked a job from Esbjerg in Denmark to Malmo in Sweden. Normally when I play this game, I normally have a radio turned on, but because this is going on YouTube, can't exactly do that. So you're gonna have to just deal with my voice, I'm afraid. But hey, if I think of something, obviously I'll start speaking. But yeah, you're probably gonna ask, well, maybe, why I play this game. Well, I've always had a thing with simulation games, Sims, for example. Just because they're good enough games in a sense that they allow you to sort of be creative, but at the same time I treat it as kind of my stress release mechanism, much like the usual squeeze a stress ball. This is my stress ball. So I get home, if I've had a particularly crappy day, get home, turn on the computer or wake up from sleep and just start playing a simulator, whether Sims, Cities XL, which I am trying to get to work on Windows 10. I'm not sure if it's the mods that are having the issue. I mean, it did work before, but so yeah, that's gonna be sort of one of those I need to do kind of things, but chances are I probably will end up forgetting how to do it. Oh crap, got the break there. City Skyline, which I only picked up in December this year. Sorry, this year. Jesus, I'm getting myself way ahead of time. December last year. And some say it's kind of like what Cities Excel should be now. But personally, I find it a bit limiting because it doesn't give you as much freedom to sort of plot your city in the same extent as Cities Excel did, or dare I say, even SimCity 3000 or SimCity 4. So yeah. And yeah, and this game, Euro Truck Simulator. I've owned this game now, as I said before, for around about 3 years. I owned the previous iteration of this, which is Euro Truck Simulator V1, or just ETS. This is E2, by the way. And I've even owned the ones before ETS, which were literally, sorry. Damn it. There you go. See, this is where the no collision mod. I'm flubbing words. Where the no collision mod makes itself very, very useful. As you can see, I didn't even use my mirrors, and I hit the truck in front of me. So, anyway, yeah. So where was I? Yeah, I was playing the previous iterations of ETS, which were basically German Truck Simulator and UK Truck Simulator. So basically ETS2, which is what I'm playing now, is basically... Yeah, I'm flubbing my words tonight. Bloody hell. Yeah, ETS2 is basically the UK simulator and the German simulator put into one. Obviously with the majority of the European mainland added into it. The game has been very, very well received in simulation circles, just because it's a relatively simple game to master. You can even play without a steering wheel, which is what I'm doing now. And the developers of the game, SCS, are actually very, very good in terms of opening the game to modders, in a sense that they acknowledge that there's a active modding community behind it, and they've even released blended tools for it. So you know, that's one of the, I guess, main things that I like about it, because is the fact that they're not treating the modders as a pain, but rather as a partner. And you know, to a certain extent, they've even copied certain things from modders. Well, copied or even collaborated. I know for a fact that the Baltic expansion for ETS2, which is going north, was actually sort of based on the Pro Mods map of the area, which they used and probably collaborated with Pro Mods. So yeah. So yeah, basic premise of the game. Essentially, you start off with nothing, and your job is mainly to start earning enough money to buy a truck and start doing deliveries with using your own truck. In essence, you're basically setting up a company. At the moment, I've got 2 profiles loaded into this. The other one, which I spent lots of time with, is not working at the moment. I'm suspecting because that save file has been corrupted with so many mods that when the developers upgraded ETS2, it pretty much broke the save file, because the mods that were reliant on the mods that I was using before are now not working. And usually, even if you take out mods, the game would still work. But for some reason, that save file isn't working properly. So yeah, a bit bummed by that, because that file had pretty much me covering almost half of Europe already. So yeah, and that's gonna be at least 6 months worth of work, on the assumption that I play at least 5 hours of this game every day, which, let's be honest, I'm not going to. So yeah, if you really want to play this game true to life, there's enough settings in here that will actually simulate driving a truck. Things such as fatigue simulation. I know for a fact that when I first played this game, before they offered the option to disable fatigue manually, it was hard set at 10 hours. So after 10 game hours of driving, your screen would sort of start blinking as if you're tired. You know, making yawning noises, and there'll be a certain point that you'll just black out, and you are gonna hit something. And there's even fines for it. So yeah, I will turn that off because, as I said, I'm not particularly interested in the reality of it. I'm just interested on playing it for the fun. So yeah, and there's other things that I've turned off. I know that there's a speeding simulation turned off on this. It's basically trucks are technically limited to 90 k's. As you can see, I am potting along the Danish motorway system at 103 k's an hour. Now, if I turn that on, I would get fined pretty much every 2 minutes, and the fines aren't cheap. So yeah, and there's even other things I think such as the trailer stability. I've got mine turned way up because I've disabled the speed limiter. If I didn't turn it all the way up, and I kept the speed limiting disabled, and I didn't have the no collision mode, I am gonna have rollovers. So yeah, that's part of the reason why I do that. Yeah, now we're approaching, if I'm not mistaken, I think the first bridge between mainland Denmark and one of the islands that I can't bloody remember exactly, because we are on our way to Sweden via Copenhagen. So, because I am lazy, I'm gonna put this on cruise control, and I'm gonna bump it out, go up to 135 k's an hour, which is not there yet. So let's increase it. There we go. So, let's talk about something else. Brexit. Here we go. Yeah, you probably already know what's happening in the UK. Had a referendum around about 3 weeks ago. Basically, trying to figure out whether they want to stay in the EU or want to get out of it. The campaign that they fought was pretty messy, in a sense that it got really personal. I mean, it even got to a point that an MP got murdered for her views on Europe. Oopsie daisy. Here we go. Yeah, so someone got murdered for her for their political views. So Joe Cox. Found that out. That was very, very disappointing, to say the least. Here we go. Because the rest of the time I've seen that happen. Anyway, back where were we? Yeah, and a lot of things were thrown by both sides. I know for a fact that George Osborne, the then Chancellor, basically said that if the UK were the EU, they're going to experience severe financial pain. So he was proposing to basically enact an emergency budget. And that pretty much pissed off everyone in the Leave campaign, including pretty much the main honchos: Boris Johnson, Nigel Farage, Michael Gove, all those kinds of people. So yeah, anyway, referendum results: 52% voted to leave, 48% voted to remain. Some stats behind the votes. London and Oxford voted with remain. The majority of England and Wales voted to leave. Scotland, majority of it voted to remain. I think it was 62%, something like that. And Northern Ireland was almost a dead heat with 50, I think it was 55-45 if I'm not mistaken. One interesting thing about the whole referendum was, and I don't know if this is sort of a proven thing, but apparently quite a few people that voted to leave did so because they didn't think it was actually going to happen, and when it did happen they pretty much regretted doing so. So, you know, in the spirit of naming terms that started with Watergate, they're pretty much being called regretters, however you say it. So and apparently Google searches into what is the ye all about pretty much increased the day after. So yeah, so because of the Leave campaign's success, David Cameron resigned as Prime Minister, which no one saw coming actually. They pretty much expected him to stay and try and negotiate the exit, but obviously he felt that there was no point in him staying because he couldn't, in my opinion, he couldn't probably do the negotiations properly because he'd, you know, I guess he'd be holding the grudge against the Leave campaign, so he resigned. So that pretty much set off a whole swath of leadership contenders. Boris Johnson, whoa! Okay, that was a stupid thing to do. I forgot that I had that I took off the collision sandbox mod. Ah, thank God I had the no collision mod. Anyway, yeah. So Boris Johnson nominated to run. Michael Gove nominated to run. And from what I understand, I think Theresa May voted to run as well. Pretty much within the first few days of the campaign to succeed Mr. Cameron, Boris Johnson basically got knifed by Michael Gove. Happened in a press conference where basically said, where Gove basically said that Johnson wasn't the man that the country needed, and that he could deliver stability to the party. So because of that, someone else came into the picture, which is Andrea Leadsom, who is a name that, who's an MP that not many people know about. I mean, to be honest, I don't even know her. And I've been following British politics pretty much since I owned a smartphone and started reading The Guardian on my phone. So yeah, grown. Last news. Yeah. So after that, Tory party rules say that if there's more than 2 people on the ballot, they have to face a runoff before the members get to vote and then put to the membership committee. So first vote, I think it was done 4 weeks ago, something like that. It was Gove, May, and Leadsom, and Gove got run out, and he basically conceded that he didn't have the party's support. Whittled down to 2 candidates, Leadsom and May, and pretty much the mudslinging started. Things about motherhood, you know, all of that kind of crap got brought out of the woodwork. It was only the start of last week that Ledson pretty much conceded that she wasn't going to win it and pretty much handed the leadership to May. So now, instead of having a 9-week campaign on trying to figure out who's going to lead the Tory party and the UK, it's pretty much gone to Theresa May. And she pretty much took over as PM, I think it was Wednesday night our time, so Wednesday morning UK, and pretty much started cabinet reshuffles left, right, and center. And a lot of people were surprised by how many she decided to jettison. Even the Leave side, were very surprised. Like people, for example, like John Whittingdale got jettisoned. Priti Patel got jettisoned. Yeah, so it was, people were surprised by the brutality of the cabinet reshuffle that happened. And it didn't even stop there. I think as late as the last night, she was still reshuffling the cabinet. So I think it's at the moment it's ended up. Oops, I missed the turn. Ended up that in her cabinet, I think 29% campaigned for leaving the EU and 71% campaigned to remain. So not an even balanced, but Tory party couldn't exactly whinge about it. The big difference though is the amount of women being part of the cabinet is a lot lower than what it was, which is surprising actually, because Theresa May being a woman, you'd think that she should appoint more women into the cabinet, but stranger things have happened. So I think this time around the cabinet's only made up of 33% female and like 67% male. So that's sort of gonna become a war cry down the track. And here we are. So yeah, we'll get back to that Brexit thing shortly. So here we go. I earned not bad, 5,100 euros. Not enough to level me up, but it's better than nothing. So yeah, what happens now? She's appointed David Davis, who's one of the prominent Leave campaigners, to a new position in the cabinet, which is the Secretary of State for exit negotiations, basically exit negotiator. He's now saying that they don't want to trigger Article 50, which is the main legal instrument used to secede from the EU until the end of the year, if not start of next year. And they're still holding out hope that they can secede and still gain single market access. Problem is, most of the EU bureaucracy is sort of saying that it's not really going to happen. Like, they don't want to create a Norway, Switzerland scenario. So those two countries have got single market access, but don't have immigration rules the same as the EU. And pretty much the UK is now being told by everyone in the EU to basically hurry the F up and just start on the negotiations. But Tories being Tories don't want to hurry up, so interesting times ahead. Anyway, I guess that pretty much closes this first test video. Once again, any feedback, suggestions, comments, more than happy for you to post them on my Facebook page, which I'll be putting on the video description. I'll be disabling the comments section of my channel first, because you don't want to get trolls mucking up. And depending on feedback I get, or depending on how I feel, I may I may do recordings while playing a game, or I may just record while looking at the camera. We'll see what happens. So anyway, take care and have a good night.